the moment I invested in the container with you at the higher level, and that was beyond the VIP day, which was, I believe, $80,000 for the first 9-month program, 9-month container. You said, James, because you just made this investment, you just up-leveled. You just raised your vibration to the next level of where you're going to be connected to abundance. And it was absolutely true. It was without a doubt, absolutely true. We hadn't even started working together. Signing the contract, making the investment in myself changed everything. And the abundance came so fast that I remember voxing you, Emily, being like, Stedman Graham wants to be on my podcast. I just signed 3 VIP clients. And I was like, I need help. I need support on the abundance, and I'm not making fun. I literally needed support on the flood of abundance that came in when I made that decision.
I believe we are live. Welcome, Tricia, and hello, James. Thank you guys for being here.
Oh, such a pleasure to be with you.
So excited to have this conversation. And for everyone listening or watching, we were just going to have Tricia, who's been our client for 3 years, by the way, record a video about her experience working with us. For those of you who don't know, James and I coach clients together. We have different expertise, and we actually love working with clients in this way. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But we decided to do something a little bit different because we wanted to go behind the scenes and really share what it takes to be coached. We were having a conversation earlier behind the scenes before jumping on about how a lot of people don't actually know how to be coached, and they sign up for containers or private coaching or masterminds or programs and don't actually get the results that they want. And then sometimes go into blame of somebody else, or blaming themselves, or, just wonder why it didn't transpire the way they'd hoped. So we're going to talk today about why Tricia is such a rock star and what she did to really utilize our talents and skills to get the most results she possibly could. Okay. So can't wait to dive in, guys. So let's take it back, Tricia. A little over 3 years ago, we met in Los Angeles. You flew 3,000 miles from New York City to have a VIP day with us. We didn't really know each other very well. You had no idea, like you said, what a VIP day actually was. But I'm curious if you can share with people what it was that piqued your curiosity and how you actually knew you wanted and needed that experience.
I love this story because there was just kind of an online presence that I was aware of. I had met you at an event in New York briefly, but we didn't have a relationship. We weren't in the same community or networking groups. And the online presence, I was just observing the consistency that you would show up, and the consistency of how you would share value. And so I was watching, observing, paying attention. And then you made this offer about a VIP day in Los Angeles. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Let me just direct message you. So I did. And you shared a little bit about what it would be and what it would cost. And I thought, there is no way I'm going to fly 6,000 miles on my own dime and pay $15,000 for one day with 2 people. Who does that? What is that? That makes no sense to me. And that was because my small mindset, my inability to know what was possible because of all of the external, socially acceptable ways of thinking, is where I was living. So I thought, I'm going to do that. I have no idea what to expect, and booked my flight. You guys booked the hotel. I remember coming to the location, and I remember walking in and I became emotional. I was so nervous because I thought, I am about to spend an entire day with 2 total strangers, and I never do that. I don't spend time with strangers. I don't reveal myself to strangers. You have to earn my trust. And I walked in And I literally just got naked. And that was
well, not literally. Let's not paint the wrong idea these days.
true. Metaphorically. And that was how we began our relationship. And I think this is why the relationship continued into such a successful mentorship and now collaboration, because I went in full force, full on, in trust. But this also comes back to intuition. I knew that I was in the right hands with the two of you. I didn't know how or why, but I trusted that I was. And I think because I showed up in that trust, you returned it by knowing how to support me.
You know, the one thing I'd love you to sort of like highlight there, because I know it's where people get stuck, is you admitted to having the initial reaction of, there's no way I'm going to fly 6,000 miles and spend $15,000. People I don't know. That's crazy. Who does that? And then quickly jump to recognizing the mindset. How did you do that? How did you get that jump? How did you go from that initial thought to full trust and faith and go for it?
I think it came down to belief of myself. No matter what happens on the other side of the plane, of the travel, I know that I will be able to find something from the time together that will be a return on investment. Don't know what it is, may or may not be money, but I knew that I would make it happen no matter what the relationship between the three of us ended up being.
And that's really important. I just want to highlight that from day one, you took responsibility for your results.
Yeah, that's huge. That personal responsibility piece.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to not being a victim. It's what happens, we make happen. We all need coaches. I loved having coaches. I loved having you both as coaches. I'm a super overachiever. So having the two of you was my dream team for 3 years. So I didn't have one coach. I had 3 coaches at a time, besides Emily and James, spiritual advisors. So I think that knowing how to be coached inside of a coaching container is as important as what you're learning from your coaches.
So good. So let's talk a little bit about some of the shifts and the results. And I'd like to kind of segment this a little bit because, as you already touched on, it's really interesting and very powerful to have 2 people coaching you at the same time within this container that we created. So what would you say were the results that you saw? And we can just list them off. I know we have some talking points we want to go into a bit more in depth, but what results did you see from your time with James?
I want to touch on something really quickly, Emily, if I may.
Yeah, please.
The separate results. The other thing that's special about this container is, yes, I had you both coaching me. The other part that's incredible is you're married, and I gave you permission to talk with each other. So you would consult and be able to then support me based on our individual calls. That was something that was incredibly invaluable to me. And I am hoping, and I think it probably helped the 2 of you as well in ways to coach me. So
Definitely.
That was a very unique, special benefit of this. When it comes to the work with James, which was high performance, we moved into team culture. It was all about how can I just make tiny adjustments, because I'm already a high performer. I've been a dancer my whole life, so I understand health. I understand my body. I understand all that stuff. So what are the small tweaks that I can make in order to optimize even more? An Oura ring, making sure I'm drinking a gallon of water, understanding my sleep, understanding what my tolerations are inside of my wellness programs, understanding how much sleep I do better on what time of day to eat. I mean, all of those things we talked about, any kind of mindset around health and wellness. We would just be able to talk about where I'm at, talk about where I want to be. And you've heard me say this, I get younger. I literally, that is my desire. That is my mindset. I don't age, I get younger. I feel better. I have more energy. I feel more vibrant. I'm 52 years old. And when I turned 50, I went for it. I talked about it all the time because I want other women my age to see what's possible. And so that's the kind of very specific high performance conversations we would have.
I love that. Yeah. And I remember, James and I, like you said, we had a lot of conversations behind the scenes. And so often we would say, Tricia's such a rock star. And it's because you follow through and you actually do the homework and you give yourself homework. And I know after our VIP day, you came to us and you were like, okay, well, I finished everything you assigned to me in LA. What's next? And you're always just up leveling and raising the bar. And you're always of the mindset of, well, why do I need to age? Why does this thing need to happen? I can go in the opposite direction. I can do things on my terms.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a very fun person to work with and to support.
Yeah. And on top of that, you coming in, when you initially said, I'm a high performer, I'm already a high performer, all these things, done some amazing stuff. And we knew that about you. Initially, I was like, I wonder how open to receiving she's going to be to change. And you were so open. Like, you're such a great, you have a student mindset. There was never I don't have any work to do, I'm perfect. There was never that. You were so curious. And we had deep conversations about, like you said, those Tiger Woods style micro adjustments that actually resulted in huge growth. And it was like, because you've been a high performer for so long, we had this conversation of unconscious incompetency. And you were very open to have the conversation about what you didn't know about how you could become even more of a high performer. Because when you're already a high performer, it doesn't seem like there's anywhere else to go. But you were so curious and open that there may be. And that was so key, I think, that curiosity and that constant wanting to learn mindset from the beginning, not taught by us, really stood you in good stead for just that hunger to just, well, what else could I do? And not just about you. This was all about you being a better leader, being able to serve at a higher level. It wasn't just about you wanting to be better for you. It was, how can I serve better? How can I be better for my team? How can I be a better teacher? There was, as great as you were so curious about how you could serve even higher.
Without question. And I also want to highlight that by coming in at a 10 on all of your assessments, you also helped me say, okay, help me see, all right, you're at a 10, which is here. Well, now we're creating a new level for you. So you're at a 1. Let's go. Let's go.
I think I made your scores out of 20 from that moment on.
Yeah.
And then what would you say, Tricia, were some of the results you got from our time together? As I worked with you on your business and team, also on some money stuff and mindset. What were some of those results?
Well, the initial first results were about visibility and trusting that putting myself out there was important. And the whole resistance of social media and vulnerability. So we talked through that and what that block was, or what that resistance was. And as soon as I became more conscious of, I am being of service by being my full, authentic, vulnerable self. Once I understood that, then it was not only freeing, but I was able to show up and really, really be of service to my audience, because I can talk about things vulnerably and authentically. That's what I'm teaching them to do. So if I model it, they get better at it. So that was the first thing, which is, it seems so obvious, but it was a very big adjustment. And then when we started working together in a bigger container and we began talking about business and pricing and offerings, the biggest instantaneous result, the first instantaneous result was I literally made back my entire investment in 9 months of investing with you in the first 2 months because of having these conversations. The entire investment in 2 months because of this conversation of what's your offering, what's it worth, who are you going to ask to join you? 3 questions. That's it. Going back to, I was open to that. I knew that it was possible because I understood what I was bringing to the table, and I understood that I was going to deliver. So when I stepped back and thought, you're right, Emily, this is absolutely what I need to be asking for, and I know exactly who I'm going to ask. It was just about having those conversations, and that's what good mentorship and coaching is about. It's the reflection, it's the showing your client, for me, Emily showing me what was possible for me because I wasn't quite there yet. And this is something I want to talk about as well. When you put yourself in a room with people who are ahead of you, that's who you need to coach you. You want to be working with someone who is ahead of you so that you're constantly moving towards that direction, because they're going to show you, the good coaches, Emily and James, are going to show you how to do what they've already learned, and they're going to prevent you from making the mistakes that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for highlighting all of that, Tricia. Yeah. And I know that comes back to the belief in yourself, and you were able to, like you said, go there quite quickly and have that belief that you could sell packages at that level and bring in, that amount of money. And that was incredible to watch. And I know one of the things that we wanted to also work on, and we did work on during our time together, was some of your other offerings. So your signature program, Big Talk Academy, and really building out a launch structure that would work to help you fill that regularly. And of course, serve your clients to a higher degree. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. And I know I keep going back, but I want to touch on one thing before we go to that, which is the moment I invested in the container with you at the higher level, and that was beyond the VIP day, which was, I believe, $80,000 for the first 9-month program, 9-month container. You said, James, because you just made this investment, you just up-leveled. You just raised your vibration to the next level of where you're going to be connected to abundance. And it was absolutely true. It was without a doubt, absolutely true. We hadn't even started working together. Signing the contract, making the investment in myself changed everything. And the abundance came so fast that I remember voxing you, Emily, being like, Stedman Graham wants to be on my podcast. I just signed 3 VIP clients. And I was like, I need help. I need support on the abundance. And I'm not making fun. I literally needed support on the flood of abundance that came in when I made that decision. So that was very, very important for me to highlight, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, like you said, and it was $85,000. So you made that money back within the first few months because you were vibrating at a different level. You were a different person already from making that decision. And I think that's what people don't really understand. But I've seen it in my own life, just making that decision and putting yourself in a different category and saying, I'm going all in, which is what that level of investment signifies. That changes everything. And then, like you said, you have to be willing and ready to receive what comes your way. And a lot of people don't know how to hold that container, that container of energy, and that container of wealth, that container of abundance, all those opportunities. And you were able to learn very quickly. And like you said, ask for that support.
Yeah. And I was very intentional with the decision-making around that process as well. I remember taking a few days after you invited me to work with you in this way, thinking about it and really feeling into it and all of the things that one needs to do when you're making a decision responsibly, while also balancing trust and knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I was going to say yes, and I made a video for you because I wanted to enter into this relationship in that way, which was very, very intentional. And I wanted you to hear my yes in a very intentional way. So I also highlight that because when you enter into a relationship with your mentors and your coaches, you can do it in many ways. And I highly encourage all of you to enter into this relationship in a very intentional, sacred way, because it's a very intentional and sacred relationship. So now back to Masterclass and the Big Talk Academy. You modeled for me, Emily, this 2-day masterclass because you had actually done this in your company and it was incredibly successful. And this is one of the things that was so important and powerful about your mentorship and coaching is you would always bring to our sessions what you were working on and share it all with me. And so you were able to say, this is exactly how we built it. This is exactly how we did it. Obviously it's my content, but you took me through this whole process of this 2-day masterclass model into selling into the Big Talk Academy. And that's what I do to this day. It's the 2-day virtual live masterclass. On day 2, I sell into the Big Talk Academy, and we do it twice a year, and it is our business model.
I just want to frame something you just said, Tricia, as well, just because I can hear the questions of other people. Your intentionality through this whole process, like the way you recorded the video to consciously enter into, and as you put it, the relationship, right? I just want to frame for everyone that wants this in a tangible way. The reason why that investment shifted specifically for you is because the amount of intentionality of entering into it and taking it seriously. This is a relationship, and you record that video. Yes, it was for us, but really it was for you, because it was like the reason that you shifted and changed once that investment went in is because it's a level of accountability. Money is our coach as well. That's your 4th coach, is money. And when we invest in ourselves, it's an investment. It's not spending, it's investing. That's a coach. That video was your declaration to hold yourself accountable for making that investment count, which meant every action you took after that investment was as intentional as that video itself. That's why the results came in. It wasn't floundering around, not really putting the effort in and busy work. It was intentional, considered, clarifying actions, which is why the results came in so thick and fast. So I just want to highlight that, because just making the investment or just saying yes to a coach, it's not as simple as that. There's a level of, well, how seriously are you taking your responsibility in this? As you did from the very first day, even with that intensive, it was like, it's my responsibility. I can make something of this, right? So I'm just highlighting that everyone, when they make an investment in anything, has the opportunity for that to upgrade them. But there has to be a level of intentionality and personal accountability, which is why it will happen for you. I'm just giving you credit there for that.
Thank you, James. I appreciate that. And I love that you're bringing this up because it's 6 figures to work with me one-on-one. And when someone invests in themselves to work with me, they have to do the work. And it's the same thing. You taught me to fish, right? I invested in myself. I had to do the work. And you, as my coaches, showed me the way. And so that is exactly always the way it should be when you're entering into this kind of a relationship with a high-level mentor. I love it.
Thank you, Tricia. So final question that I wanted to cover with you is why you desire to be a high net worth individual, and how has coaching and does coaching support you in that desire?
I love this question because for me, being able to be a high net worth individual means that I can give back. I can create a team that I can cultivate and create a team that I love and that can support this business and this mission of amplifying and elevating voices and unifying humanity through speech. And it gives me an opportunity to donate and be philanthropic and fund women's film projects and write musicals and plays and do things that I want to do in the world to leave legacy. So because I live at this high level of elevation and vibration and connection to source and universe, but I also am very grounded and connected in doing the work, I've been able to cultivate this incredible balance of being a high net worth individual while also being very grounded and without ego.
Mm.
Thank you for explaining that. So beautiful. And it's been amazing to witness. And you are such a giver. You're so generous. You become a close friend, not just a client, to both of us. And it's just been incredible to also witness you following your desires. And I love all the flashy stuff. So from up-leveling where you live in New York City to taking yourself on vacations to beautiful 5-star hotels, just so you can have space and you can tap in and you can plan your next big moves, to seeing your relationship blossom, to, literally everything. So much has been up-leveled. And I've just loved also seeing you give back to yourself, because I know you work so hard and you support your clients and you have such a big mission, and your self-care game and your just giving to you has also been upped dramatically as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everyone who like is thinking of or has noticed Tricia or has worked with Tricia, you have no idea how much she puts in. Heart, soul, and everything into her service. Like, I don't think you'll ever really know. Like, you really give everything because you love it. You do. It's your everything. And I think that's another thing. I think, the question of purpose came up on a conversation I was having today. And there's no doubt that you are completely tapped into your purpose. You know what that is. And when you know what that is, putting in the effort is easy, in one way. It's kind of easy because you have what it takes. It doesn't mean it's not hard work, but you're so tapped into your purpose. And sure, there's been rocky roads along the way, but it's that's kept you afloat. And you inspire us. You really do.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Emily.
So I know we're running out of time here, so I want to wrap this up, and I want to thank you first and foremost for sharing this and for being so vulnerable and open about everything. And I also, of course, want to invite anyone who's watching, who's interested in learning more about working with us and wants to know what it would look like to be in a container like this, whether it's for a day or a year or 3 years. You can reach out directly by emailing me at emily@iheartmylife.com or going to emilywilliams.com/services. And I want to say that we've mentioned a lot of different results today, helping Tricia build her team and culture, helping her put together her launch strategy, increasing her revenue, helping her personally with the high performance pieces. There's lots of stuff that we could talk about, that lots of results, lots of shifts. And that's all well and good. But oftentimes when you're feeling called to something, it doesn't always make sense. And sometimes it is just a feeling. And that next level is, that calling of something more. And sometimes you need support and understanding what that more actually is. And I know James and myself both share the talent of seeing the big picture. And as Tricia said, that's BIG, capital BIG. We see the big picture and we support our clients in creating that path to actually getting there. And so if you are ready for your next level and you want to join the ranks of someone like Tricia, I hope it's obvious that we don't work with just anyone. We are looking for superstars who do the work and want our support along the way, but are willing to put in the time and effort to go to the next level. Those are the people who we love working with, who we talk about after the sessions are over, who we go the extra mile for. And so if that's you, please do reach out. We are opening up 2 spots for a year-long container, and we also have VIP days available. So we would love to support you if you fall into that category. Anything else you want to say, James?
I mean, you highlighted all of it. You know, I think it's great to be in a place where we, you know, me and Emily love what we do, right? And so, same as Tricia, we get to just be really, really clear about who it is we want to support, because we know what it takes. And, you know, there is no cheat code to quote unquote success. Tricia loves it when I do this. There's no
That's a speaking faux pas.
Yeah, speaking faux pas. You know, if you've got the passion, but maybe there's a lack of clarity, or you don't feel like you can take the responsibility, or there's a burnout issue, as long as you've got the passion and the drive to do something bigger. And I think one thing that's really helped me think about this recently, it was an Ed Milet thing, is that if you aren't up for that merry-go-round lifestyle, you want to do something bigger, honor the fact that you've chosen to ride the roller coaster, right? And we can help you navigate that roller coaster, because that kind of life takes a different focus to be able to handle the roller coaster, right? And not be scared of it and enjoy the ups and the downs. It's different. It's not the merry-go-round. And it's, you know, we've been there, we've done it, the ups and the downs, and knowing how to navigate that is so, so important. And just to see, you know, it just makes me smile to see everything that Tricia's done and how much she enjoys it and how much she's giving back. And she's not, there's still hunger. She's not satisfied, I tell you, right? There's more to come. And that excites us. And we love those people, the people that are changing the planet, because the world needs that right now. The world needs ambitious people to be an example, and they're the people we want to work with.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Tricia, and thanks to everyone who's been watching. We love you all, and so excited to see who is interested in riding the roller coaster. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you. Love you guys.